You are now listening to The Final Third.
I think Pepe's so coachable.
Wow, you should be in
just need to
prison.
shake him.
You should be in prison. We bailed you out. We bailed you out to come and play this season. You're out here disgracing us. You should be in prison. You facing charges.
Are we good? Are we good? Can everyone hear each other?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
We're good. We're good. Good. Hello, guys, and welcome to the final third, the Chelsea end of year review, the prolonged Chelsea end of year review, because they were all too waved. Not even waved, they're all too excited to. We couldn't bring them on too soon. We had to let it dial down. But yes, can you lot hear me? Because you lot are lagging like mad on my thing. This is what I'm saying.
Wow, is it really that bad?
We can hear you clear, bro. We can hear you live and clear.
Can you hear me? It's lagging like mad, isn't it?
Bro, it's not live. I mean, now you're free.
Suddenly my internet's not looking so bad now, is it?
Your internet's looking top tier. I won't cost you again.
Yeah, you're like me. Oh my days.
I can't lie.
I know the feeling, man. I know the feeling.
Struggling. All right, cool. Hold on. Let me ask my thingy. Right. We got Lambs here. I don't know, this is awful. We got Lambs here. Lambs, introduce yourself quickly while I pattern my internet, and then we'll go Dammy, we'll go Daniel, then we'll go Joyce, yeah?
Yeah, so I'm Lambs. I'm not really too sure like how I can introduce myself. Yeah, I'm basically here, there, pretty much everywhere on YouTube. You know, obviously I've started my own channel as well. I've just got Twitter recently as well, so that's good as well. So yeah, that's me, innit? You know, Chelsea fan through and through. People say my Jorginho agenda stinks, but listen. I'm a true supporter of the club. I support everybody through and through. And in case anybody's forgotten already, we're champions of Europe.
100%, man.
Fair play. Lambs, that Jorginho agenda. Let me not expose what you said about him at the stadium minute before you get absolutely dismantled. But listen, it's your boy Dammy. You know, I'm coming from the Grand Dam. That's what they call me in these streets. We're out here doing our thing. Champions of Europe, you know what I'm saying? European champions, you know what I'm saying? We're so good, yeah, that man is frozen permanently. You know, coming from, that's how good Chelsea are right now. Man like Shem is stuck in the past. He can't even move. Like, that's how good that
40 seconds.
There, man. He's probably even talking to himself. Who knows? But I'm out here doing our thing, so that's up, man.
No, I hear it, man. I'm Daniel Bamaji, live and direct, live Eyes on the Ball TV. Do a couple bits and bobs here and there as well, man. Just writing for Chelsea and doing what I need to do. But yeah, man, champions of Europe, can't complain. Hopefully Shams can call up Channels TV or AIT, one of these lots, to help him pattern his internet, and hopefully we get our host back in it. But yeah, man.
Nah, man. That was, oh my God.
Someone's gonna have to come replace me soon. Don't worry, I'm gonna get Banks or Julie to come replace me. But guys, I hope you've done all your intros while I was sorting out my internet. Yeah.
Oh,
Still get introduced.
Just about to do Joyce.
And last but not least, no, hi.
My bad.
I'm Joyce. EL Joyce _ on everything. I'm a big Chelsea fan and a very infrequent content creator. Catch me on GNA TV and loads of other places. But yeah, champions of Europe.
Why are you acting all shy, man? Stop it,
Joyce. Joyce, you're everywhere. Stop lying. You're actually everywhere. Stop lying. She goes, I'm just here and there. She's everywhere, bro. She's everywhere, yeah?
No, do the intro for me.
Catch Joyce on Twitter dropping bars, yeah? Bars by Joyce. Yeah?
Literally.
All right, cool. I want to get into this Chelsea. Let's get into this Chelsea talk, yeah, because this hurts me as an Arsenal fan. Man. Guys, let's start with you, Dan. How do you think rate your season out of 10? The whole season, not the two-show part, the whole season.
Nah, man. See that UCL medal, yeah? That thing, it had a tax in it. So, like, I got to give it like a 12 in it, you know, coming from. So, like, you can't tell me. You've obviously got that medal, yeah, carries so much clout that I can't just. But I mean, on a serious thing, though, rating the whole season, you have to give it like a 9. Do you know what I'm saying? Just because we won the Champions League. That Champions League changed things up so much. Do you know what I mean? Like that one UCL title, yeah. If it wasn't for that UCL, they'll probably finish on like a 6 or something, or a 6.5. But realistically, winning the UCL, I mean, when was the last time Arsenal won one? I can't remember any. You know what I'm saying? So that you remind me about when you might last.
It's not about us. Listen, this is what we're not gonna do. It's what we're not gonna do. It's what we're not gonna do. None of that. It's not about us. It's not about us. It's about Chelsea.
And he expects me not to drag Arsenal. Obviously, I'm going to throw shots. Whether they're streets or directs, I've got to throw my shots regardless. But nah, man, like I said, it's been a brilliant. That one UCL trophy has changed the entire scope of the season. Obviously, you've got the new signings getting better as the season progressed. You got a better manager coming in respectfully to Lampard. We finished in top 4. I mean, it wasn't the most convenient finish, but we secured all of that. And then you iced it off with the best. Like literally, it's like red velvet icing that UCL trophy. That's what it was. Came in absolutely beautiful. If you don't like red velvet, I don't know what to say to you. But there you go, man. You know, I'm coming from we're out here chilling, man. We're out here chilling. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, thanks for that, Dan. Big up. Shout out to you, man. Lambs, let me rephrase the question. Considering you guys lost the FA Cup final, how was your season out of 10?
You had to ruin it. You had to like just bring that.
I didn't ruin anything. I just asked the questions. They just send me the questions and I asked them. They just send me the questions and I asked them.
Listen, had we gone on to lose the Champions League final, just to echo what Dami said, then of course that would have hurt a lot more than it initially did, you know, whilst we're in our feelings on the day. But at the end of the day, I said to myself, and I think every single Chelsea fan was like, listen, if we lose this FA Cup, we end up winning the Champions League, we make the top 4 places. I don't care, to be honest. It's nothing, to be honest. I really don't care. Like, I've forgotten about it, to be honest. And literally, for us to be the dark horses, to come out of nowhere, yeah, the squad is still developing after the disaster. And obviously, respect to Lampard and what he did for us as a player, but as a manager, it's a no from me, evidently so. He just didn't know how to make these players gel. And you can see what a difference a quality manager like Tuchel can do with these players who he hasn't chosen. And we've gone on to want to win the Champions League, and we haven't even seen some of these players hit their stride yet as well. That's what just makes it like so phenomenal. And I'm not gonna lie, in the end, in the Premier League, if we're gonna talk about the Premier League season, I'm a little bit underwhelmed. I'm a little bit disappointed. Again, a big part of that does have to do with Lampard. But again, considering where we were, about 8th or 9th position, Tuchel came in, for us to end up in the top 4. Yes, in the end, maybe the pressure, the mentality got to our players a little bit, and we did have to rely on favours. But in the end, we got the job done, and that's all that matters, really. So I'm gonna be a little bit more humble than Dami. I'm still so gassed about the Champions League. Don't get me wrong, but I'll probably say, given everything, going from literally from 9th up to 4th, I'll give it an 8.5.
Cool. Fair enough. Joyce.
Yes.
What do you give it out of 10?
Oh, see, this is, you asked the negative Chelsea fan, innit? I
was gonna get Faye in here. I was even gonna get Faye or Joyce. It was one of the two. So but
no, see, I'm even like, you know, I'm half and half. Should have decimated everyone. But I would give it an 8.5. I'll give it 8.5. Because obviously we won the Champions League. Like, I want to say it one more time. We won the Champions League because, you know, the big ears. I want everyone to open their big ears, open their ears, because we won them. And that's amazing. That's the biggest thing you can win. It doesn't matter how you got there, you won it. But you can't also ignore all the stuff that came before it. Because if you'd asked me at the end of the Premier League season how I thought the season was, the way I was cussing people after Aston Villa, I was cussing people after the Arsenal game, I was cussing people after Leicester, I was angry. But we won the biggest trophy in the whole of Europe, so is it a thing of, is it plastering over the cracks, or would you give it like give it a 5 or 10? I don't think it's papering over the cracks. I think what it is that there are two different domains of our season, because in Europe we were dominant. We weren't lucky in Europe. We defeated everyone in Europe, and very comfortably, almost very comfortably so. It's just that the league aspect of our campaign was just a bit, just higgy-hagga, do you know what I mean? So it brings it down a bit, but overall, do you know what? I even give it a 9. Give him a 9.
9. So we've got a 9, We've got a 12 from Dammy. Lambs, what did you give it? An 8 or 8.5?
I said go 12. Let's call it 10 in it. You know what I'm saying? You can't.
10.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. Like the Lampard era did hurt. I still remember it vividly. Like I can't forget about it. It did hurt, but because of everything else that happened, what Aston Villa game, what Arsenal game, what FA Cup final.
Can't be forgetting those defeats, man.
All right, Daniel. Lastly, let's rate the season out. Let's rate the season out of 10.
No, I don't even want to repeat what other people have said already. I think it's important to make mention of the fact that like Lampard got first place. I believe it was the end of November against Leeds. We were top of the league, and it was actually interesting. We were thinking, oh, right, like what can we actually do this season? And then December happened and hit, and it was just a joke. Like that's why I tell all my friends all the time, all the podcasts I go on. We had like 4 different seasons in one. Like we had so many different mini seasons within a season, and it was crazy like that to think that it was all 1 year. Tuchel comes in now. There was a lot of pressure on him. Mainstream media didn't like Tuchel. They kind of made him an enemy.
No, they didn't. Right. They didn't stop.
No, they definitely did, man. They definitely did. They wanted him out, fam. And I even believe there were some Chelsea fans that wanted Tuchel out.
I agree with you. Sorry, I agree with you. I'm saying I agree with you.
They
didn't like when him in.
Remember the racism thing when he was doing the thing with on the top. I was like, right, see Chelsea fans, let me let you finish, man.
There was the racism thing. There was Harry Redknapp saying if you win the league in France, you're not a top manager. He's not like basically comparing him to his in-law, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? And then there was Robbie Savage, who was basically grilling. I've forgotten the analyst who was grilling, basically saying, "Fam, he's not good enough and whatnot." Tuchel comes in now. I just think with the Tuchel tenure,
you're right.
Yeah, I just think with the Tuchel tenure, there's the Villa game, the Leicester game, and the Arsenal game. 3 big games that we shouldn't have needed. You know, there's certain games during the season. I'm sure everyone will agree. There's certain games during the season you shouldn't need to be motivated for. If you're not motivated for those kind of games, then, bro, I don't know for you. Like, why are you representing the badge kind of thing? Aston Villa to secure top 4. Arsenal it's a derby and it just gives us bragging rights. Leicester and FA Cup final. Like, what more do you want? But then we can look at Europe and other games within the league. Man City, Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, like even Man City in the final again. Like these things surprised me. I didn't expect it. So it shows me that next season we're allowed to be harsh on this team because they're capable of good things. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, in terms of this season, I don't think papering over the cracks is the wrong word because I don't think you can paper over the cracks by winning a Champions League. I think you're too good. You can't just luck your way to the champion, in my opinion. Anyway, I think there's some level of quality there, but I'll give it 8.5. 8.5.
Cool, fair enough. Higher rankings, and I agree with a lot of what you said, Daniel. I actually do agree with a lot of what you said. You're not wrong in that the press didn't really favour him. They didn't really. Looking back on it now, they didn't. And I think some Chelsea fans, like proper Chelsea fans, weren't sure about it. It's like, give it Lampard, give him more time, all them stuff there. But my next question is, because I don't want you to go keep repeating what each other is saying, but you haven't so far, is let me come to you, Dammy. Be honest, how many of you, or who wanted to give Lampard more time before he was sacked in this panel? Be honest.
Respectfully.
Joyce, I don't need to ask you.
I'm honestly, like, what I said about Lampard, honestly, it was God that kept me on control. Like, these are the things I was going to say, I was like, honestly, because what this brother was doing on the pitch, honestly, I've never been so, because I like the guy, do you know I'm coming from? I like him. I think everyone here likes him. I've got like how many jerseys in my drawer, like with his name on the back of them. Come on now, he's everyone's legend. But so it's a bit difficult to start constructively, but that loss against Arsenal, that battering, I was like, you know what, boss man, respectfully, you need to pack up your bags and go back to Chelsea or wherever the hell you came from. You know, coming from, go back to your house, staying there, play with the kids. You can go into the swimming pools in the beach and whatnot. No more. You know what I'm saying? I was one of the people that said that because I saw some people and even some of the best Chelsea fans I know. Some people were talking about I'd rather win an FA Cup than win the league with another manager on the Lampard. I'm like, you might have seen some wild things here, you know, exceptionally wild things. You know, I'm coming from. So, like, you say, who is it? I don't drop names in it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to drop anyone's name and that. I'll let them at least some people's contacts. But at the end of the day, for me, after a certain point, I was one of the few people that actually came out and said it as well. Because I was afraid of like getting attacked by their followers. I told my followers, I said, listen, either you unfollow me, yeah? Either you unfollow me or you just take the fact the way it is. And at a certain point, I was just like, you know what? Lampard is done for me. Respectfully, let's cut ties. I'm no longer having any of this nonsense. And he left. You know what I mean? I was unhappy when he left because my legend left. But then again, we see what happened from them. So I can't really complain.
Let me add to that quickly. Basically, I think for me, it was earlier because I went on a rant after the West Brom game because I was actually I was angry with that game for a number of the decisions that were made and just the way that the team played in that game as well. And I said that's reflective of the manager. It's what you do. And then you bring on guys like Hudson-Odoi to come and save your ass. Like that style of management annoys me. Do you know what I'm saying? And then obviously we then went on a run and whatnot. And I'm not going to take it away from him.
Was the West Brom game when you went 3-0 down? Sorry, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. So at the Hawthorns, 3-0 down. And I was like, bro, like this can't be happening. I would even say after that West Brom game, so the two games. So the West Brom game was the early game where I had my doubts. The Leicester game, it's what he said after the Leicester game that got me mad. Like the running thing, they're not working hard enough. When we outran, we had the top 4 or top 5 most sprints, most distance covered out of the players in our team. So it had nothing to do, and I'm not one of the people that subscribe to the fact that you should compare the previous regime to the current one, but one of the clear things that I'll give to Tuchel, even when we lose, there's a clear understanding of why we have lost, and I think he communicates well. Whether or not you might agree with some of his decisions, at least he's communicating with the fans. You can disagree with what Tuchel does. There's nothing wrong with that. But as long as you can communicate effectively as to what you think went wrong and why you think it won't happen again, that's all you can do and take as a fan. And that's what Tuchel does well. And that's where the experience comes in. And that's why I just think he's the man going forward. I said time and time again, Tuchel is basically a combination of the previous 3 managers we've had, Lampard, Sarri, and Conte. He has a blend of all 3 in terms of different dynamics and what he wants to try and implement. And I think Tuchel is the guy we need to try and back and see if we can build something long with him.
Well said. I don't know who wants to go. Lambs, do you want to token? Did you want to give Lampard more time?
Absolutely.
If anything.
So crazy. I knew they were going to back him. I knew they were going to back him after he made top 4, but I wasn't even convinced then because I was just like, the only reason we made top 4, realistically, let's not lie, is because Leicester bottled it. Let's not lie.
Yeah.
There is no other team, I think, can safely think that they're going to make Champions League spaces. Champions League, not Europa League spaces. By conceding as many goals as we did. Defensively, it was an absolute calamity. There are some games, I'm sorry, the fact that we made top 4 is the only reason why I can try and block some of them out of my mind. But some of these games, some of these performances, and this is why, I'm gonna be the first person. And listen, after my man come out with a video telling us to apologize to him, I apologized to him because I was one of those fools that said Rudiger's finished. I need him out of my club because I was seeing those performances in the back end of last season and the start of this season, and I was just thinking, how can this be this Rudiger before the injury? Where has he gone? Has he just disappeared? Lo and behold, it's clear to see he hasn't disappeared. It was just poor management as well, and we understood this guy was backed, right? He was, he made top 4. He did what he had to do, given the little resources that he had. Okay, now you've been backed. Now you got the players that you want. You know what's expected of you, and it was so clear to see you didn't know how to handle these players. The man management was poor. The rotation was poor. Playing players out of position as well. Not really knowing what partnerships worked well. It was just an utter disaster. And again, a lot of these people were saying, okay, we were first towards the end of October, start of November. But guys, remember how close it was in the table between first place and about 8th place. around that time in the season. It was really, really close. One game could have turned everything on its head as well. And as you know, I think our European performances were kind of, saving his skin a little bit. That's why, again, I think that's probably why you have him being so hyped up in the press and stuff, as we could see. But I'm with Dami. After the calamitous November that Arsenal had, I was just thinking, if we lose, because everyone was saying, nah, surely it's not going to happen. Like, I know we're a bit up and down, but they're terrible. And I was like, I have a feeling if we lose to these man, he has to go for me. So after that performance against Arsenal, he was dead to me in my mind. Like I was just praying for every single game after that. He needed to leave for me. He needed to leave, and that Leicester game was just the cherry on top of the icing, really and truly.
I don't want to even add to that because, like, for me, that Arsenal game, people don't understand what annoyed me. Do you know what I'm saying? That Arsenal game started my YouTube channel. That's how I know that. I had to come on there and I had to shout for like 10 minutes because I was like, this guy's taking the piss. And one thing as well with regards to Lampard that you brought up there nicely as well, Lam, was like at the start when things were really close. One thing I really hate is like when I say something that ends up being correct, that's a bit negative about the club. Remember when people were talking about Lampard and remember Kante playing lone DM, all those funky, foolish takes that people were bringing up and what I was there, I said, listen, we're playing against West Broms and Sheffield Uniteds and Krasnodar FCs, and this is the level you're going up against. When you get into that November, December period, where the cocoa comes from, where all the difficulty is going to come from, that's when you're going to see what the Chelsea team are made of. And boom, what happened? Remember people were talking about Kante moving and the DM position, and Kai Havertz is going to play midfield pivot with Mason Mount, and they will be going up and down the pitch. Remember all of that? Have you forgotten? I've not forgotten. I have not forgotten. People are talking about XYZ. So like, I'm just sat here thinking like, at the end of the day, by the time that December period came round and then things started unfolding negatively, I was sat in my seat like, I was right, I hate the fact I was right, but I was right. And then what happened? I said he was going to get sacked. I said, give him to February. When did he get sacked? 24th of January. Boom, that's the end of the situation. So like, well and truly, everybody, like you said, Harry Redknapp Lampard has all these media pundits on streams. You really expect Harry Redknapp to have on guys' post? You really expect Jamie Carragher or Pat Neville, any of them? They're not going to say anything negative. They're his boys. They go down to the local Wetherspoons here in London and take a bit. And I'm coming from. So at the end of the day, you can't really expect any of them to have miscommunication. So it was just one of them ones where people were sold by the dream of an ex-legend, sold by the dream that he could speak excellent English. Remember, Sarri was there before. They hated his English. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Sarri was out. Yeah, Sarri.
That's just really how it was. That's how it was. So.
All right, Joyce, I'm going to come to you, yeah? Okay. Someone's got a question. Would you guys say the board deserves... Read that. Deserve the blame for hiring Lampard, knowing he's inexperienced.
Yes, and I think that's kind of that feeds into like my answer. So before Lampard came, I remember like tweeting. I was like, I don't know if I think he should come because it's gonna ruin like his legendary status. Like no one lasts at Chelsea. It literally doesn't matter who you are since Abramovich has come.
That's actually true.
No one stays longer than 3 years anyway. So anyone who comes is most of the time it ends sour or ends kind of like no one really ends on good terms. So I was just like, oh my god, this is going to end really badly. But once he came, I was like, I'm going to back him. This is like one of my favorite players of all time. He's managing the club that he played for and the club that I love. I'm just going to, and I can't lie, I don't know if you guys, I mean, apart from the 4-0 game right at the beginning, that one was like, wow, okay, the transitions I was seeing, Lord, anyway, trauma. But like, I was excited, and I don't know if you guys remember the games at the beginning. We were playing like it was fast flowing, it was attacking, it was exciting, it was fun, and it was like, okay, my favorite player, and he's the manager, and our football is fun, and we've got all these youth players. I was excited. It was kind of like the thing is we knew that it wasn't perfect, but in my head, how I saw it was that we know that Lampard is an inexperienced manager. We can't expect experience from him. So if the board has decided that they're going to do this rebuild project, then that means in their head, they know that he's going to make mistakes and they're just going to ride it out with him, right? So for me, like people getting like really angry at him, even like leading up to the final, and it was like, but what what kind of things are you expecting? In my head, I felt like we lowered our expectations because we didn't have a transfer ban, because we played all these youth players, because, you know, managers weren't crawling to come and, like, you know, manage us in that weird kind of limbo time that we were in. So I was like, okay, we've accepted this rebuild, this time period. But then I felt that after the FA Cup, that's the time that Lampard should have gone. He got his top four, which loads of people, including Chelsea fans, didn't think that he would get. We thought that, you know, people just thought it was going to be calamitous. It was okay. He did what he had to do. He rebuilt, he integrated youth players, but that would have been the perfect time for him to pick himself up and leave. He would have left on a high. It would have been perfect. Obviously, that didn't happen. He stayed. He gets backed with this big money signing, and I feel like that's where it went wrong. But I still backed him because, like, I understand being, like, sometimes, like, football fans are logical, or sometimes there's logic in football, but I honestly don't believe that football fans are logical all of the time. Because if football fans are logical all the time, they wouldn't support a club and run up and down the UK and abroad just to watch people kick a ball. Football is emotional by default. So I made an emotional decision to just back Lampard and just be like, do you know what? Whatever happens, I'm going to go with the right.
I'm justifying her decision.
But then, do you know what I mean? But then after a while, the emotions of us losing and being just that November, that emotion was stronger than my emotional love or like for Lampard. And I feel like that's where it went over. He was never the perfect manager. He was never the experience. He wasn't a Tuchel. He wasn't a Conte. He wasn't someone who had the pedigree. But he made a lot of Chelsea fans fall in love with the club again after that kind of like relationship with Sarri. And I feel like that's why people backed him for as long as they did. And then also the whole English thing and all the I was happy to see him go, but I was also like, I was sad because of who he was, but he did need to go, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I want to actually ask Joyce's point as well, like, because that's one thing I really is, that's one of the things in football generally, like, I'm actually really passionate about, is the fact that a lot of these big clubs are excellent PR merchants. They are very good at public relations, and like Lampard. Well, okay, look at the situation: transfer ban, no new signings, no money being spent, no flashy new nothing. You've got an Italian chain-smoking, pasta munching, Marlboro loving individual managing your club. Boom! You said no. He's going to leave. The fans hated him. Nothing new is coming in. What's the best way to solve calm the storm? Your club legend. He just started managing another club. You bring him in. He does his bit. They used him like a chess piece. That's exactly what they did. The information, obviously, that I don't know if do you guys remember that athletic article that came out after he got sacked with all that. Did you see how much damning stuff came out of that and how he was fine with Marina? I was shocked. I was fully shocked. Do you know where I'm coming from? I knew a few things behind the scenes by virtue of, like, you know, I'm coming from just knowing a few things and whatnot. But at the end of the day, like, when everything came out, like, damn, what a lot of clubs end up doing. See what Arsenal are doing with Arteta, sorry. See what Juventus tried with Pirlo. See what United are doing with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. See what Barcelona tried as well. That's what they're all doing, just so that they can manage and get PR done. Chelsea, they did their PR. They got youth players integrated. They got rid of a few players. They used his name and they used everything. And then they just threw him in the dustbin. That's exactly what happened. And it's sad. I still strongly believe in the next 5 to 10 years he might be back. Him or John Terry, he's going to be back in some way, shape, or form, because he would have gone out, gained his badges, gained his experience, have some pedigree, and then come back to the club. But as of right now, they did him really dirty, man. They did him really dirty. The board, they won't. I won't forget this. You know, I'm coming from. I definitely won't forget this. That's for sure.
I think he's lagged out.
I thought I froze. I can't lie.
Have you actually?
Let's give him 20 seconds to catch up with us, innit?
You're reading that loud.
What do you man? Nah, literally, man. What do you man think though about like the current transfer news in terms of going forward and how we're trying to rebuild our team after the transfer news?
Hella promising. The news that I've been hearing, it doesn't even shock me. It doesn't surprise me at all, because at the end of the day, like we've all been saying, we're champions of Europe. Like, this team, the players that are in this team right now, some of these new signings haven't even hit their stride yet. These aren't even Tuchel's players. Can you imagine?
I was just about to ask I was just about to ask that question, innit?
I'm honestly not surprised because we are Chelsea. We can put down the money. We can get a Haaland. We can get, say, a Tchouameni or even a Declan Rice. You know, we can go out and get a Hakimi. Yeah, we can. He'd rather come to us than PSG. You know why? Because we're champions of Europe. That's why.
Okay.
It's just I don't know what you guys think.
All right, Lamb. All right. You're chat. All right, cool. You know what? That even leads me to my next question, right? You guys had like 6, or correct me if I'm wrong, 6 or 7 major signings. And I just want to quickly, I'm going to ask each of you, how do you think they've done so far? So, Daniel, I'm going to start with you. Let's go with Werner.
How do you want to grade it? What,
Danny said, wait, Daniel, I'm going to come with you, and I'm going to start with Werner. Like, how do you think he's done so far? Would you say, I don't want to make it as trivial as giving him a rank, giving him a number out of 10, but how do you think he's done so far? And explain, like, his downfalls, because I see he's complained about a lot. So some people are saying the season's actually not that bad. It's just putting away the chances. But what do you think of it?
Nah, he's been poor. He's not been good enough. He's not what we expected him to be. We thought we were getting 40 goal a season striker. Like, that's what he did.
You were getting a bag, man. Say it. You thought you was getting a bag.
No, 100%. And yeah, he just flattered to deceive. The scary thing is, the goal he scored against Southampton, I thought this guy has arrived. I thought this was the guy, because that goal was dumb. Like, that was a dumb goal. Like, I thought, yeah, bro, this guy is it. And then ever since then, it's just not been the same. He's a poor footballer. Like, pure footballer. Like, technique-wise, he is poor. Like, one of the worst footballers I've actually seen. I'm telling you, technically, he's a terrible footballer. I'm not even joking. He's not good at all. But do you know what? I don't put him on the same. He's so jarring. He's so annoying, because I don't put him in the same realm as Torres and Morata. You know, when we had Torres and Morata, they were non-entities in certain games where you wouldn't even know we had a striker on the pitch. Werner worries opponents, but he doesn't realize he worries opponents. So it's like what he's doing is by accident. Like, he has this almost reverse effect, but when it works, it works. When it doesn't, it doesn't. I think going forward, it sounds a bit mad because he's a 40 million pound striker, but I think going forward into next season, if we buy a Haaland or a Kane, I think what I would do is play Werner in the big games where Man City, Liverpool, they play high lines and whatnot. Werner can be very influential in those type of games. And then you play your striker and whatnot in the other games where obviously it's low blocks and whatnot. But yeah, man, Werner wasn't who I expected it or what I expected to be. And yeah, he has to do 6 goals, and people are clinging on to the fact that he got 12 assists. I mean, penalties as well. Like,
you said he's one of the worst. You said he's one of the worst ballers you've seen. So as a striker, he's watched them bash away, and he's.
I'm telling you now, Werner's first. I don't know if you guys remember.
Daniel, did you just say he got 6 goals in the Premier League this season?
Yeah, 6 goals in the Premier League.
Yeah, compared to 28 goals in the Bundesliga last season.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? And like
Bundesliga tax apparently, so you know.
I don't know if you guys remember that. I think there's the chances are even.
Practice, man. Down planet, where Jorginho is meant to score more goals than your strikers. It don't run.
It doesn't run. It doesn't run. And the thing is, do you know what I find mad? The chances don't even piss me off that much. Do you know what pisses me off? What pisses me off is certain all-round play. Just the fact that he can break down a whole attack on his own. That really annoys me sometimes. If the ball isn't played in behind for him to literally run onto and then play that. I don't know how many times I saw him do that cross pitch assist because he's quick. Look, I'm not going to knock him for that. He has been of use to us, but I just expected more, innit? Like, there's so many players in the world, I believe, that can do what he's doing for us currently. So, So, like, I expected more, man.
Looking from the outside in, Daniel, I just want to say what I get from Werner, watching him over several games, scared little boy. Scared boy. Like, you're looking at him and you're thinking, bro, you've actually got blistering pace. Technically, you're not bad in it. So you should be scoring more goals. You should be finishing your dinner, but he just seems so scared. I watched the game earlier when Fabinho pocketed him against Liverpool earlier in the season, and I just thought, what? Maybe he's just not found his form. But you know what? Next season, the lights are still going to be on him. So I want to go on to, right, between Lambs, Dami, and Joyce, who wants to take Havertz?
I can take King Kai, you know what I'm saying? I can take King Kai. I'll take him on, you know what I'm saying? My boy, man. I need to address Werner real quick here. But you know what Werner reminds me of here? But you know that guy at the office here? He got his job. I've not even said anything, man. I've not even said anything, man. You know that guy at the office here? He's got his job. He's meant to do so. I don't know the files at the desk or whatever. But he goes around asking everybody, do you want coffee? Like, do you want me to help you with coffee and what? Like, he does everything except from his actual job.
Word.
He does everything else. This guy, oh, want me to assist you? Sure. Do you want me to pull out this player from one corner so you can run down? Sure, I'll do all of that. But should I do my actual job? Score goals? No, I'm not going to do that. We'll leave that to Jorginho. We'll leave that to them, man, and Mark. That's what he did. That's what he did this year. Now, like I keep saying, and this is where it relates back to Havertz. Once again, I'm not going to say I understand it because fully, like, it's jarring, you know, coming from the fact that not scoring goals. But at the end of the day, for me, Havertz in the same light, they have just come from Germany. Their transition was harsh. You know, I'm coming from. They were in the land where they used to drink like fresh tap beer. You know, I'm coming from those Brasworth sausages. Now they're eating fish and chips. You know, I'm coming from they moved. Things changed up real quick. Things changed up really, really quick. So obviously, I'm really not expecting. And imagine they used to stay with their families. But Havertz is 21. He's a younger. You know, I'm coming from. He's not an old man. Werner is like 24. So they just had to move out to Germany, and they are probably the only Germans they really know. They couldn't even of COVID. Like, it was a difficult transition, and people also forget Havertz had Rona. I had Rona as well. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not an easy thing to just catch and keep moving like that. So the fact he managed to even get into his stride at some point was quite impressive for me. But one thing that's for sure is, like, based on what I saw from Havertz, because I was a Havertz fan before we got linked to him. I used to watch him actively because I just like I call it effective nonchalance. That's what it reminds me, yeah, of Dimitar Berbatov at Man United. That's what he reminded me of. The way he used to play. Very lazy looking, but they are super effective. The man Berbatov will be on the ball. It looks like he's about to break down, like a car. You know what I'm saying, on the M-way. That's what it looked like. You know them Nissans. That's what he looked like. So, but he still gets the job done. Havertz is more like a Lamborghini that's in first gear. That's what it reminds me of. And then boom, 1 second he does his thing. So next season, I know he's going to come with the sauce. I know he's going to come with the vibe. He's going to come with the technique. I mean, I'm not going to just say that, oh, the Champions League game saved his whole season. I'm not going to do that. I'm obviously not going to do that. But at the end of the day, like, we've seen what he's capable of. We've seen those beats along the way where this guy, when he's on it, yeah, you can't really play against him. So this season, I'm just going to allow it, since he's the youngest signing, one of the most expensive. Okay, you got Runa. He got a bit of an injury niggle at one point. So there were so many things. But next season, I want to see some fire. You know where I'm coming from.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong still. You two, Daniel and Dimes, you ain't missed a beat with what you lot said so far. Joyce, I'm gonna give you the positive ones. I want to see you in the positive light. So I'm gonna give you, how do you think Mendy, and I'll give you Mendy and Chilwell before we go to Lambs. Mendy and Chilwell. So start with Mendy.
All right, so I'll take two. So I feel like Mendy obviously has just not been a revelation, but he's just been a breath of fresh air. I think Chelsea fans really, really struggled with Kepa, especially the second season. And I know we can talk about like how like Lampard being not a good defensive coach compounded it, made it worse. But some of the things that I was seeing, I feel like it really knocks the confidence of the defenders as well, because you can't even trust the guy behind you to be the last line of defense. Like, other defenders will defend properly, but at least they know if something goes down, the guy behind me has got it on.
Yeah.
I feel like the defenders felt like that with Kepa, especially in the second season. And it was like people felt so comfortable. They'll be like 40 yards out, be like, yeah, whatever. Kepa's down there somewhere. Like, let's just give it a go. And they scored so many brace goals, and people are like, oh, that's a screamer. That's screamer. It's not a screamer. Kepa wasn't on his line, or Kepa was ball watching, or Kepa just can't. He has really weak wrists, so like he reach the ball, but
he has soft. Hey, you know, your boy has soft. Your 80 million pound, your 70 million pound keeper had just butter wrists. Because some of them goals that he was letting in, they weren't bangers. But sorry, Joyce, to cut you off. Sorry.
Yeah. So I feel like everyone was just happy for it to just not be Kepa. I don't think people expected, myself included, because I didn't know anything about Mendy. I just knew he wasn't Kepa, so I said, let's go.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's been a breath of fresh air. He's not like, I don't know if I call him world class, but he's a very competent keeper and he's done his job. The defenders look more comfortable. He can command his area so much better. He communicates with the rest of the defenders so much better. He claims the crosses. He's taller, thank God, so he can actually leap and he can reach. Like, he's just the basics of a goalkeeper. He does them very, very well, and I think that's all you can ask for, really, as a basic. And the fact that, like, I low-key feel like he got robbed for I really wish he had got the Golden Glove. If he had played all the games this season, I feel like he would have got that, and that would have been like a really good way to toast the fact that he's really helped this Chelsea side. So I was really happy, and also he's black, you know.
And he's a really nice guy, as well known.
Didn't you guys meet him?
Mendy's story is beautiful. Mendy's story is beautiful, and part of the Black Keepers Association.
Him can say the humblest guys ever. Wow.
But yeah.
Oh goodness, yeah. Oh, Chilwell, don't forget Chilwell.
Oh, Chilwell. You know what, Chilwell? I didn't want Chilwell. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't want him.
Yeah.
I thought when I was seeing 80 million or whatever crazy numbers this sort of out, I just said there is no way on God's earth that we are dropping 80M just because he's an English left back. And like I didn't see it. And you know, people talking about like Reguilon, like Tagliafico, all of these like these foreign like left backs. And I didn't know them, but I just thought, like, when you're looking at the price, like, it didn't make financial sense to me. Thank God I'm not in charge of the books. I'm not in charge of the balance. That's not my money. That's Chelsea's. They bought Chilwell anyway. And I feel like he started really, really well. I feel like he started the season really, really strong. And I think especially because we knew that the last person we'd seen was Alonso versus Emerson. Those are the people who were fighting for the left back spot before. And if you guys follow me on Twitter, you know how much I hate Alonso. I hate him with a bit too much passion. It might be a little bit irrational, I'm not going to lie. But I really do not like Alonso because he's just everything a left back shouldn't be to me. And then Chilwell comes in and he's athletic, he's defending like pretty solid, he's pretty decent one-on-one, he's good at bombing forward, he's putting in really good crosses because, you know, we were just crossing left, right, and centre. He was, you know, decent crosser. So I was really impressed. Then we had that time where we all, like Chelsea in general, just fell off. And he was spamming crosses for no reason. He was getting beaten 1v1. Like he just fell off. And then Tuchel came in and, like, you know, he wasn't really adjusting to the wing back role. And everyone thought, oh, Alonso's going to come in and claim his place. But sense prevailed. And he came back really strong. And that Champions League final is one, like, that performance. I was so impressed. I was so happy. And it was like, I love when a player makes me eat my words. I love it when I'm like, I think this player is dead. And they're like, I mean, they didn't say it to me because they don't know who I am. But they came and they say, listen, I am the shit. And I'm going to prove to all of you guys why I deserve my role and why I deserve my £50 million price tag. And I feel like that's what he did. So I'm impressed with both of them.
That's why I tried to give you the two good ones before we go to Lambs. I'm going to give you Thiago. I think he's been fantastic.
I was literally going to say, I know what you're going to see at Chino.
Oh, thank God I didn't get
I'm going to give
one of them.
Honestly,
okay. So let's start on a positive note. Obviously, Thiago Silva, what an absolute revelation of a player that he's been. He's literally just been everything that we've been crying out for our defensive line as well. I did mention it a little bit earlier on about how many goals we conceded last season and how that was a huge problem, how we did need to fix that. I think coming in, even under Lampard, I know the performances were a little bit shaky, from the back all the way to the front of the team as well. But I have to say the most consistent, most reliable, centre-back partnership that didn't make us, completely crap ourselves as Chelsea fans was probably Thiago Silva with Kurt Zouma, in that back four line under Lampard and his stubborn 4-3-3 system, which he just insisted on sticking through as well. But I have to say, I know his age, that was a problem. We knew he wasn't going to be fully fit through this whole season, but for the games that he was fit, for the time that we were able to use him, my God, did he not show why we need to keep him for another year, why he's such a phenomenal player, why he deserves all the accolades and praises that he gets as well. I was absolutely gutted for him to have to go off in the Champions League final, but so glad that in the end we finally got that Champions League trophy. He finally got that Champions League trophy that he needed to get as well. Ziyech, I'll be really quick because there's not really much I can say about him. To be honest, in my opinion, I thought he was our worst signing. I expected a lot more from him, especially from his performances, what I've seen for him do at Ajax, and even what I've seen him do for Morocco at international level as well. I thought people like Hakimi, they were one of our standout players in the World Cup as well. So I was just expecting a lot more, and surrounded by some of these players, it's a little bit underwhelming. Again, all of these new signings, they do get one more year as well. Thiago Silva deserves his contract extensions yet. I want to see more.
Also, Thiago
I am-
Silva
I am-
yeah.
Thiago Silva is definitely the best.
So-
I do. Just a little quick one. I do worry though because I just don't want there to be an over reliance on Silva. Even though I think we've seen that the defenders Rudiger, Christensen, they've shown that they can cope and whatnot. Let's now see if they can cope over the course of a full season and help us win a title. But I'm worried about the Thiago Silva thing, just a tad, just because we've seen him get injured in two key moments in the season. He got injured in the Tottenham game, and then obviously gets injured in the Champions League final. So it's like he is our best centre back theoretically, but can we practically rely on him for a full season? I don't think we can.
They've gotten better because they've learned under him as well.
No,
That's
for sure,
why their
for sure.
confidence has improved as well. So I think even off the pitch as well, like we've seen, he's like a coach, isn't he? So
Yeah. It's proper
I think
Chelsea.
the load is going to be key though. Like obviously we can't play him every game. This is a 37-year-old man. Like most 37-year-old footballers are home with their kids by this point. So he's like, if we manage him well, and also like I feel like it's better to give him. It was better that we gave him a contract than we ran out and we picked just any old. Because the centre backs right now, the ones that are on the market, I don't think any of them were just they weren't the centre back that we wanted or that we needed. So there was no point splashing out when we already have someone who's more than competent here right now. Whilst we regroup and have a look again.
Boy, Thiago's the centre back you guys needed. You've been crying out for an experienced centre back, and you had Christensen, Fakayo, Rudiger, Zuma, and you were kind of looking to Rudiger to be that person. And it's just like it's a bit uncomfortable. But Thiago slotted in well, and then the defense just goes up a fold. But Dams, I want to quickly come to you. This might be a bit controversial, but I need to get your top three. With Tuchel winning the Champions League, rank your top three Chelsea managers in the Abramovich era.
Wow.
He said, wow. He said, wow. You know what?
Top
Go on, yeah.
I mean, obviously, I feel like he's got to be. I mean, rah. Why have you done this, man? Why have you done this, man? Like, man, okay, my favorite.
I want this, you know, because I want you to say something. I want you to say something mad, and I'm gonna use it for the snippet, and we're gonna see how it ages. If it ages like wine or milk, so go on.
Man say he ages like wine or milk. I'm gonna take that. I can't lie. Nah, I can't lie to you. I think Mourinho needs to be on that list. I like how the two of you have wine as well. I didn't get the memo. What's going on? Was popular. Yeah, it's calm, innit? It's calm. But Mourinho has to be on that list. I think that goes without saying to be on that list. The thing is, you said my three favorite. Do you know what I mean? My three favorite.
Yeah, your top three.
My top three.
Yeah.
I have to throw in Ancelotti.
In order.
Because what Ancelotti did at Chelsea was phenomenal. I can't forget the football we played. Do you know what I'm saying? That football that we played under Carlo Ancelotti was sensational football. So like I can't really just write any of that off. So I'm gonna have to drop that third one to him still. Now, if Tuchel didn't win the UCL, the third one I have to go. I like Di Matteo because the one that no, he's done now. I mean, obviously Tuchel has come in and won his own UCL. So like, a minute. I know it's been like 180 days. You know how they tell you that you shouldn't get too attached to the person you just met quickly, but then I'm gonna have to be that guy. I can't lie. I have to be that guy. You know what I mean? I just have to be that guy because this is. Think about this year. What I tell people is like, and this is with no disrespect here, that UCL was Obviously, we're all scared because it's the UCL run. Come on, but we beat every team convincingly. We didn't go to that UCL team, and just bend our backs, and then we tapped in at the last minute. That's not what happened. Krasnodar and Porto were harder than the rest. Respectfully speaking,
Fact.
Real Madrid was
facts.
deep when you deep it. You know what I'm saying? Real Madrid wasn't
Atletico was.
City wasn't that deep. Atletico wasn't that deep. It's easy to say in hindsight because we beat them all, but if you actually go back and watch those games, we beat. And I don't just mean we beat every single one of those teams. This man broke Guardiola's bald head how many times? 3-4 times? Come on now. All in the space of weeks. Nah, man.
The defenders are so wide.
No Pep slander. No Pep slander. Not here.
You know what? No, in all honesty, though, I actually said to my boys, and everyone was like, I'm kind of mad, but I actually think, and you don't want to get too excited, but with Tuchel, I think winning the UCL so early has put him on a trajectory where he could easily become Chelsea's best ever manager. I actually believe, because now you started the process with this young team where you've won the Champions League. I think we have to aim for the Premier League next year. You never know what could happen. Obviously, I don't want to get too excited, but look, you never know. If I do my favorite managers, Jose for me number one. Like, he's been one of my favorite managers. I actually the Jose in me actually wanted him to do well in Tottenham, even though I didn't want Tottenham to do well. It was that. No. Yeah. Look at Dammy. No, it wasn't even like, bro. I just like. I love the personality, and there's even
drink wine.
Was even
that all rocks my head a little bit.
No, they were even
judge there for a second, like excuse me.
No, man, it is what it is. Everyone's got their soft spot, man, for certain guys. But yeah, Jose is definitely my soft spot, man. I just like his personality. I think I became so attached to Jose as well during the early period, and even when he came back as well. So yeah, definitely Jose. Ancelotti, like Dami said, I think underrated. I think he's the one manager that it was a mistake to sack as well at the time we did, just because he finished second and was trophyless. Yeah, fair enough. Maybe you could say it's been vindicated of some sorts, but I think Ancelotti could have had a lot more to give to that team, especially with the way he had us playing and the way he had us winning. And I'll say Tuchel for now. Obviously, I know it's easy to just say Conte, but I think Tuchel plays better football than Conte. I prefer Tuchel to Conte, but look, I love Conte's passion as well. I like Conte a lot. I just thought the club made a mistake in choosing Conte over Costa, and that kind of rubs me the wrong way every time I think about Conte. Like, we lost Costa because of Conte, and I think Costa still had much more to give our team as well. So yeah, man.
All right, so Daniel, you've got the same top. Dan, what was your top three? And Daniel, what was your run through them again?
Mourinho, Ancelotti, and I gave the last one to Tuchel because I'm a sim. But yeah.
Same, yeah, literally.
So your top three in the Abramovich era is Mourinho, Ancelotti, and Tuchel. Joyce, what's your top three in the Abramovich era?
Ooh.
She's gonna say Rafa Benitez.
Firstly, I want to just address something that Daniel just said, that because Tuchel won the Champions League so early, you feel like that puts him on the trajectory. I feel like, I don't want to say I feel like the opposite, but I kind of feel like the opposite, only because
I feel like the opposite too.
If you win something this big, this early, what are his targets for next season? What are his expectations for next season? Because he came in halfway through and basically they wanted him to steady the ship. They wanted him to look, just get us top four, get us a European qualification that we need, and then we're going to reassess this and we're going to start winning stuff afterwards. He came and he mashed up the place. He won a Champions League. Crazy. And made the biggest thing you can win. So once you've done that, the expectations go from here to all the way up here. I know Chelsea will always have high expectations, but now for Tuchel as a manager, what if, we finish second and trophyless? We've improved in the league, which is what we need to do, but we don't win anything. Is that a step back? Do they fire him? I just feel like the pressure's on now, and I think he can deal with that pressure. He's an experienced manager. He's managed at really big clubs that aren't Chelsea, but I just feel like, even though this is the beginning of an era, I know what Chelsea are like. I know the high standards. I know that nobody lasts at Chelsea. We always think that next manager is going to be the one that lasts. and then something happens. And I just feel like we're gonna enjoy like the next 2 seasons, but I just think it doesn't feel like to me, or like it never really feels like to me like we're the beginning of like a long-term project, if that makes sense. That's kind of how I see it.
Yeah.
But in terms of my top 3 managers, I think like everyone said, like Mourinho, he's won us basically everything, bar like, you know, the big ears, but he won us everything. He's the guy that brought us into like success. Like I don't even need to talk too much. He's Jose Mourinho. He's charismatic. I love him more when he's not a Chelsea manager these days. Like, because the second era was a bit, but I can just enjoy who he is as a manager and his personality and how he interacts with the media and all that stuff. Like, I love him. Like, Daniel, like, I understand what you're saying. Second, Ancelotti.
So let me not cut you off. I just want to say bye to Dan. He's got to shoot off. He's got. Thanks for jumping on, bro.
It was nice speaking to you again, Lambs. Nice speaking to you, Chef. Nice speaking to you, Daniel and Joyce. I'm coming from speaking to you all soon. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy your wine that you didn't tell me about. But yeah, it's calm. I'll speak to you.
Next time, Euros, isn't it?
You don't Perry. It's calm.
Joyce, sorry, carry on.
What was I saying? Oh, second's Ancelotti. Ancelotti, I feel like was just the football that was the most fun. And is the football that I most associate with, like, not my childhood because I'm not that young, but like when I properly got into football and I understood it and I knew I was watching, I could analyze it. And I was like, this is lit. Like, it was so much fun. We were thrashing teams 8-0 for fun. Like, that's the most like free-flowing, what? Facts? Oh yeah, facts, obviously, because I'm so facts. But like, it was just the most fun Chelsea team that we had. Or that we have had, and yeah, like I feel like he was sacked too early, and I think there's articles around that even say like the only mistake that Abramovich really feels like he made was like sacking him too early. And third, see, I don't know, because Conte, I liked him, and then he decided to throw his toys at the pram and like just ruin a whole second season. Di Matteo, he won the Champions League, but wasn't there too long. Tuchel, I feel like it's too early. Plus, like, there's still things about Tuchel that go on my nerves. So I don't. Let me even throw Rafa Benitez now.
Stop.
No, I actually don't know. I'm gonna give it to Di Matteo just because he gave me my first Champions League.
Oh, face off.
Oh, brother.
I love the sentiment, Joy.
Man.
Lambs, take us home. Who's your top 3 in the Abramovich era?
First of all, top of the list is gonna have to be Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho is that guy where literally it's that toxic relationship, right? Where you know, like, it's never ever gonna work out, but it's just like, oh, like it's that person that you just, you know, you had all the kids with. Do you know what I mean? Like, look at what we made. Like, me and you is never gonna work, but look at what we achieved. You know, and the kids are the metaphors for trophies. Like, man got us onto the map with trophies. Trophies. You know, it was so bitter. We had to let him go. But we remembered the trophy, so we had to bring him back. Do you know what I mean? So, of course, Jose Mourinho has to go in there. But in the end, all good things or bad things or toxic things, as you will, must come to an end. And again, Carlo Ancelotti. And again, this is why I was really like wanting in the back of my heart, in my head, Everton to kind of do well this year, mainly because of him as well. Now I feel kind of bad for them because he snaked them in the dirtiest way, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I kind of feel bad for Everton. But at the end of the day, I can't deny, literally, before Ancelotti, it was this whole park the bus, dirty, ugly football always being associated with us, and he really came in and helped change that narrative. So I can't deny, I really can't deny that fact and what he's done for us in that sense as well. And again, I was torn between Conte, Tuchel, and Di Matteo. Di Matteo, yeah, but at the end of the day, it was such a terrible start to the following season after coming in and winning that trophy and winning that
trophy. Let's not forget. I love Di Matteo. But
I know. Listen, I'm not going to give it to him.
Made my eyes bleed.
Daniel, I'm not gonna give it to him. I'm not gonna give it to him. It was an honorary mention. It was an honorary mention.
Yeah, nah, I hear you, man. I hear you.
Like, I'm honorary, like literally, you know, to echo what Joyce said. He did give us our first Champions League as Chelsea fans. That was a big thing as well. I have to obviously big up Rafa Benitez. Obviously, what he's achieved at other clubs as a manager as well, coming in as an interim manager once again midway through the season, still managing to win a trophy with us. That's phenomenal, and still playing absolutely brilliant football as well. I can't deny that. But Tuchel, given the craziness of this season, given the fact that he found us in such a terrible position of ninth place, didn't look like we were going anywhere in Europe, didn't look like anything was happening. He got us to 2 finals and we ended up lifting 1 trophy. And this is not even the team that he would have picked as well. He inherited this team. It's not his players, but he's taken that and, being the phenomenal tactical genius that he is, managed to do this. And literally, I know what Joyce said, you know, I think it's too early to give him his accolades, but a lot of the players in this team haven't even hit their stride yet. So can you imagine when they do? It's exciting. It's exciting thinking about it. So for me, it's them 3 in that order. Mourinho first, Ancelotti, and then Tuchel. But I do want to give special honorary mentions to Rafa Benitez and Di Matteo.
Okay. It's your club. Yeah, it's your club. I don't take part. I just watch from the outside, but I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted with some of the things I've heard in this segment of Abramovich are a top 3. Because for me, it's easy money. It's easy money. Jose, Ancelotti, and Conte. And here's why it's easy money. What those 3 managers had that nobody else had, that no one else had, no matter what they won, is those are the 3 managers that everybody was scared of Chelsea. And that's a very big deal. Jose Mourinho set the tone. He brought success to Chelsea. He literally paved the ground. And I wouldn't say he built Chelsea, but the impact that Abramovich had by bringing him in, he didn't miss a beat with that Jose Mourinho appointment, and he was fantastic. It was sad the way it ended, and he came back and he did it again, so he's definitely number 1. Ancelotti, like you lot have said, I didn't understand why he went. I was shocked he went. I still don't, and it's right that Abramovich regrets sacking him. Now, why I put Conte 3rd, even though the football was ugly, even though the way he went out was quite sour, we were scared of Chelsea when Conte was the manager. When Rafa was there, when Di Matteo was there, and now that Tuchel's there, you're playing well in all these, but no one's scared of Chelsea.
No, but do you know what it is? The one factor
is that when his back 3 system got sussed out, he didn't want to change it, and this is what led to his downfall.
I feel like
with the fact that he didn't get what he wanted, and he decided to sabotage our team.
Yeah, and also like
we could have finished third that season. I don't know.
But there was no, I agree. Yeah, but and there was also the fact that he didn't get his first choices, but some of the guys he did get that were his first choices as well. They weren't great. Like Zappacosta was definitely his signing. Do you know what I'm saying? Because he wanted more depth in those wing back positions, and it just became a thing where now obviously I get that not all the signings were his, but his recruitment period is one of the worst that we've ever seen in Chelsea.
His recruitment was a disgrace because you guys were linked to, I think, is that when you were linked to Barnes and
every striker.
But here's the thing, with what you had, that revival of Victor Moses, I promise you, no one saw that in football. In the world of football, nobody saw that. Victor Moses played for Sunderland. Exactly, playing for Sunderland, playing at wing back and looking like a baller. Nobody saw that. But his recruitment was a disgrace. But for me, I think he's 3rd. If Tuchel does well next season, as in by well I mean challenges, and maybe gets another domestic cup, then he's pushing for 3rd.
Premier League, Shem, say it.
I can't say that. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say this though. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm taking a break. I'm a basketball fan now. I'm just doing this because they asked me to do this. I don't do football anymore because Arsenal's broken me. But I was going to say, okay, in terms of Premier League, quickly, because we're running out of time, we've got about 5 more minutes. You guys are linked to Hakimi and Haaland, yeah? without them right now, without them additions, do you think you lot can challenge next season?
We won't. It won't be sustained. It won't be sustained. I want to hear Joyce. I want to hear you because you don't want Haaland. You don't want Haaland, do you?
Who, me?
Yeah.
It's not that I don't want Haaland. I feel like people are understand me. I just feel like it's not the. I feel like everyone feels like Haaland will come here and then just hit the ground running. It's going to be like instant goals, instant success, instant bam, bam, bam. But I feel like that's not what it's going to be. I feel like he's going to need time to adjust. The weight of like a massive fee is going to be on his back. There's still creative issues within Chelsea that we need to solve in terms of creating better, high quality chances. So he can come in and he can do a great job, but I don't think it fixes everything straight away. The way everyone's like, okay, we just get striker and we're winning the league. I don't think that's what it's going to be like. That's my
Lamb.
We need a CDM as well. That's my thing as well. I feel like we need a striker. We need like a number 9 striker, like a Lukaku type, like a Haaland type. That is why we are going after those targets. But most importantly, we also need a CDM as well. These are the positions we need to strengthen. We need rotation in. Because to win a Premier League, you need consistency. If you are going to get injuries to your CDM players throughout the season, as we so very well saw, all of our central defensive midfield players were out injured at like various points of the season. Do you know what I mean? So it had to be that either 2 of them were out at the same time, one of them had to cover. There was a point where even Billy Gilmore had to come into the starting 11 as well. Like we do need rotation in that position. We need somebody of equal caliber to like a Kante, Kovacic, Jorginho to come in to that position. We do need that, and we need an out-and-out striker. We get those 2 positions, we're challenging City for the title.
You know what? Yeah, Joyce, Lambs, I agree with you. Joyce, I disagree with you. I feel Haaland's one of the players I can outright say, I can put money on it. He's going to hit the ground running at Chelsea because anything that's missing at Chelsea is a bagsman. Someone who can get you 30 goals in all competitions. Someone who puts the ball in the back of the net. Someone who you get 3 chances. On a good day, he scores all 3. On a normal day, he scores 2. It's very, very rare what someone like Haaland's put up. The way, the difference in finishing and the quality of finishing he puts up at Dortmund. I don't think, who is this? Sorry, people. Oh, this is why you can't get too many Apple devices. What was that? Sorry, guys. Just bang.
I understand that, yeah. But I feel like for me, it's not that I don't think that he's a wavy striker. He is like, if we talk about all the young players in the world, he's like second behind Mbappe. He's incredible. But what I mean is, I don't necessarily feel like we will always create the right environment. Like, obviously, he's going to be like, he's got really good playmakers in Sancho, for example, like that's helping him, that's supplying him.
You lot got playmakers too.
Huh? No, but they're not doing as well. I feel like we're not going to create as many high quality chances as he is getting right now. Do you know what I mean? So he'll still do well. And obviously, like, you pay for the investment, you pay for 10 years plus. Like, it's not that I don't want him. I just feel like it's not going to be as smooth a transition as everyone makes it out to be. That's literally what it is.
Okay.
The striker market's tough.
No, I couldn't. Or are you asking the same thing or something else?
Yeah, no, do you have anything to say to what Joyce has said?
Yeah, no, look, fam, I respect Joyce's opinions. I'm always laughing at her tweets and seeing what she says and whatnot, but I think I disagree with this one still. I think Haaland's a game changer. He's someone that I think can come in and hit the ground running just because of I'm all about player profile, innit? And if you watch Haaland week in, week out, which I try to do every time I get the opportunity to, I just think with the amount of chances we create and the goals he scores, there's this misconception that he only scores goals where he's played them behind. That's not true. He scores a lot of his goals in the box as well. Like, he is a poacher as well, and he has that now of knowing where to be at the right time. And I think that's something we've been lacking. Movement-wise as well, he's quality in the box. Werner's movement is actually quite good. It's actually quite A1, but it's then the finishing, putting it away. And I think that's where the difference comes with Haaland. Haaland will miss big chances. I mean, Lewandowski has one of the highest big chances missed in Europe as well. But it's the fact that his conversion rate is so high as well that it balances itself out. The best strikers miss big chances. Werner missing big chances isn't a problem. It's just that he's not converting at the same rate he's missing. So it becomes a problem where it's so lopsided that he's just not doing the job that were required of him. So I think Haaland or Kane definitely are the guys you need to go for. Then again, I do think if you can't get a Haaland or Kane, I wouldn't get a striker. I actually wouldn't. I'd sort something out in there. I'm not the manager. I don't make these decisions, but I'm tired of seeing us go for second-rate players in certain positions. Like, we're not going to get a striker. The only striker I would have taken was a bit like the Thiago Silva thing. Maybe you're taking Aguero, but then again, his injury record wasn't that great. But so yeah, like I wouldn't want a stopgap striker. I can't even lie to you. You don't need
some
that.
of these comments are killing me. Nathan's coming. Nathan just normally have to spam our comments. Tima's the poor man's Carlos Vela. Just keeps. What did you say? Yeah, finishing a brothel. Yeah. He's all over. Anyway, but yeah,
footballer.
Nah, man, it's just uncomfortable to watch. For me, I feel like you need to get that position sorted in terms of Haaland or Kane. Once you guys sort that out, then the Prem's looking on the horizon. So, guys, what's your expectations for next season just with this current squad? I just want to get a quick hot take from one of you each. We'll start with you, Lambs. With this current squad, what happens next season? You won the Champions League, you lost the FA Cup. Obviously, the Calamari Cup is not a real thing. And then you got the Champions League and you're going to retain it. So,
with this current squad, like no new signings, I expect us to still be competing for top 4, maybe a trophy, maybe possibly another one. If some of these players gel, if some of these chances created start getting converted, I think if we make the additions that we've all just basically been discussing right now, then we win the Champions League. So not the champion. Well, we try and retain the Champions League. I'm not saying we're guaranteed to win it, but we're definitely in with a chance of winning the Premier League as well. And I think that should be our aim: Premier League and Champions League. To be honest, with the additions, without the additions, then we are a top 4 team and a trophy competing team at best.
Okay. Daniel?
I want to compete, innit? I don't think having the tag of you must win this, you must win that is right. I actually still don't think it's fair either, because fair enough, yeah, we won the Champions League, but we won it in kind of unprecedented circumstances where you've seen it maybe I don't think ever we've ever seen, apart from Di Matteo, we've ever seen, and it had to be Chelsea again, we've ever seen anyone win the Champions League in these kind of circumstances where it's kind of like new manager now come in and try and do something and totally change the flip how the team play. So it's interesting that we have that. Maybe I need to write something on that. But what's it called? Expectations. I think second. Obviously, second's not a trophy, but I want second. I want a domestic trophy. I think makes a lot of sense. And again, try get as far as possible in the Champions League. We've shown we can get to. We can win it, so I want to get as far as possible. I think second domestic trophy, and like semi-final, the champs. I'll be satisfied. I think that's something to build on, because you have to remember this is still a very, very young team. This is a young squad, which I think has a lot of upside to it. So yeah, but if we can win the league, if we can win the Champions League again, not saying we will and whatnot, but it'd be great. But second and a domestic trophy for sure.
Fair enough. Just take us on. What can you expect with this squad next season? Because we ain't signed no one yet. So what can we do with it?
I think we've set our expectations high because of how the season has finished in terms of Europe, but has also given us a lot to desire in terms of how we've done in the league. I feel like we're going to do much better in the league than we have this season. I feel like we'll come second. I don't know if that's me being optimistic, but I feel like we'll come second behind City. If not, then we're closing the gap like quite significantly, because I think we finished 19 points behind them. I think we have to half that at least. So we need to like close the gap on the top, because the last 2 seasons have just been us kind of like scraping. So I think we'll finish second. I don't know if we'll get a trophy, but actually, I don't. I feel like we'll finish second and go trophyless, but go far in lots of competitions. But if we were to win one, I feel like it's going to be one of the domestic cups. The Champions League is like, people don't retain it, and I wouldn't want to put like, not that I don't believe that our club can do it, but it's just like, if we don't do it, it's not an indictment on our team, because the Champions League, some of it is luck, some of it is the best team. Like it just happens. So for me, second, and that's it. That's what I think is going to happen.
Right, enough. See, you got Nathan just losing buck wild in the comments. Buck wild in the comments. But yeah, guys, thanks for coming on. Lambs, obviously, Dammy who left earlier. Lambs, thanks for coming on. Joyce, thanks for coming on. Daniel, thanks for coming on, man. Where can people find you? What are you doing with yourselves? Start with you, Lambs.
Me, I'm doing a lot personally. In life on YouTube. Academically, in the job market, trust. In terms of football content, you can follow me on my own channel. On the road to 300 subscribers. I'm almost there as well. And considering my channel is only a few months old, like this means a lot. So thank you guys. Your support is much appreciated as well. And again, literally, like I mentioned, I'm fresh on Twitter. I'm fresh in the Twitter sphere, guys, as well. So yeah, I'm almost actually up 400 followers as well. So if you guys help me get there as well, it's at Lampard Reacts as well on Twitter, on Instagram, which is like my main social media account that I've just basically been using for years and years and years. It's at Lami Elmed there as well. You can find me on GNA TV as well. I host the lady show with the beautiful Joyce. That's why I know her beautiful face and her bars for days. I'm on the Offside Rule in the First 11. I do like so many collaborations with so many people here and there as well. Midnight Vibes on the Football Terrace as well. I think we're going to come back as well and do some Euro shows as well. So keep an eye out for that as well too. And just here, there, and everywhere, to be honest.
I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere. Busy body. Joyce, where can they find you?
Well, I'm not as busy as Lambs. Well, I'm busy, but I'm not football busy. So you can find me on Twitter.
And she's busy academically as well, yeah. Listen, if you think I'm busy academically, it's nothing, yeah, compared to what she's doing. So big ups, Joyce.
I'm trying, you know. We got to graduate, but so you can find me on Twitter at ELJoyce_, Instagram the same. On Twitter, join me. Let's have football conversations. Let's have a laugh. I like to laugh about Chelsea and other teams. You know, I won't mention them by name, but you know, I can see the pain.
Yeah. Thanks,
but, you can also find me on GNA TV with Lambs on a Friday. Sometimes I'm on Gold Diggers as well, and then just by accident, I kind of appear on places like here. So.
Okay, fair enough.
Look for me.
Look, Nathan's a clown. Let me get this comment off the screen. But yeah, Dan, take us on. Where can we find you, bro?
Name as seen on screen, personal stuff. Eyes on the Ball content, Eyes on the Ball TV for all my how do I call it, leisure time content and just stuff to just talk about and whatnot. Find me on Copper90, do some content creation for them from time to time. And yeah, man, hopefully I can reveal something very soon to keep it under wraps. Man, you'll find me there as well. Man. So yeah.
Come on. Thanks for coming once again, guys. That has been the proper Chelsea. It's not proper Chelsea. Let me stop saying that. It's not nice. It's been your Chelsea end of season review, guys. I'm your host, Shems, and thanks for joining us. Peace, everybody.
You are now listening to The Final Third.
I think Pepe's so coachable.
Wow, you should be in
just need to
prison.
shake him.
You should be in prison. We bailed you out. We bailed you out to come and play this season. You're out here disgracing us. You should be in prison. You should be facing charges.